I spent years getting it wrong because I was trying to get it right. When I took the leap and followed my gut, my mission, my calling, and decided to start my own thing, my own business, every room I was in, every certification, every training, every course I was taking to build my skill set, I felt I was behind because so many people were way ahead of me. They were already 10 years in it and building. And I always felt like I wasted so many years. I always felt like I must get it right now because I wasted so much time on something that wasn't really my calling. I was working in corporate before as in creative direction, as an interior designer and brand strategies and trainer for designers. And while some of my coaching self was in there too, because I was giving presentations and coaching and training, it wasn't really my field. It wasn't really my area. I wanted to help people bring their mission to life and trust their calling and build the life they know they're here for. And feeling behind, I put so much pressure on myself to Marina, now you've got to get it right. So I was looking at all those people that were ahead of me and trying to understand and absorbing, like learning from them, which is a good thing. But I was like, okay, this worked for them, so I'm gonna use the formula. I'm gonna use their strategy. Like getting into those rooms and learning from those people, their frameworks, their teaching, their style, their everything. And every time it was like, this can't be it. Every time it felt like, okay, it seems it's working. And yeah, totally. Every time it made sense because, of course, it worked for someone. So it's going to make sense. But after a while, there was this resistance boiling up inside. It was like, no. And actually, I think I reached my max of studying frameworks and following experts' advice last year when I joined a yearly business mastermind. And 2 months in, I quit. I was like, enough. I don't want to learn anymore. I have enough knowledge, lived experience, skills. And there was this part of me that was rebelling, literally, getting like, she was begging to get permission to play and be messy. And it got to a point where I could not ignore her anymore. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And the moment I decided, okay, we're going to show up messy, we're going to find our way and figure it all out as I go, it's literally how I found my way. It's literally how I got it right eventually. So the sooner, and now I'm not going to do the same thing like, oh, I wasted so much time pivoting and following other people's formulas and everything. Of course, there was a little bit of bitterness when I realized that, but I'm so glad. And honestly, I believe I needed to go through those stages of feeling. I think part of it was following the path that someone else has created felt safer. Like there was a bit of reassurance there. Okay, it worked for them. It's going to work for me. And being guided, it all helped. I think it was part of my own growth. And eventually I got to a point, like the little kid that at some point it's like, no, mom, I can do it. Let me do it by myself. It felt like that kind of joyful rebellion, but also like, I'm ready. I'm willing. I'm willing to do this and be messy. And as I said, it was part of my process and maybe it's part of your process too. I mean, so many women and clients who, God, they had so much training, so many skills, so many certifications and expertise. And at some point, of course, I'm a student. I'm always going to be learning. I'm always going to be enrolling in new courses, new trainings. But the place from which I'm going to do that, and I'm doing that, is completely different. It's not to find the proven formula because I know I am the formula. It's just to, okay, what other things there are that I can learn, that I can then digest, metabolize, and weave in my own way, as I'm trailblazing my own path. I want my path to reflect who I am, not who somebody else has done or how they succeeded it. How they succeeded it, how they made it. What worked for them, what works for me is not going to look the same. It's not going to be the same of what works for you. And yeah, I think the strategy, the moment I dropped the pressure to get the right strategy, find the right strategy, the one way to do one thing, it's when I started becoming more honest. And I think Marina's belief, honesty is the best strategy, period. And this YouTube journey for me, it's such a distillation, an example of that because I'm showing up every day. And on YouTube, what I love about it is that I don't have, there are no rules. I mean, in the format, this video could be 3 hours long, 30 seconds long, 3 minutes long. I get to say whatever I want to say, however I want to say it. There's no ideal format, ideal length, like on other platforms. And I feel like I'm reborn and liberated. And I've been resisting YouTube for so long because I was putting so much pressure on myself to get it right. Find the best strategy first, then start the channel. And I am finding my way, my strategy, my voice as I go. And I thought this was going to be draining me. Like I was, when I first decided to start the channel, I was like trying like to convince myself. I was like, okay, let's start with 2 videos per month. It felt like a lot, but reasonable. And then I was like, okay, maybe it will have sense to do once a week, right? I can drop all the platforms that don't feel I'm fed up with, don't feel aligned anymore, or like not at this in the season of my life, and I can pour more energy into this. Let's do once a week. And then I started getting this idea of maybe I post every day, and maybe it becomes a process. Maybe it's how I get out of my own way and I help this part that knows within me play, be messy, and carve my own path. I think by getting honest, by allowing yourself to get messy, giving yourself permission to show up and do things in your own way and trusting your way forward is how you find the right strategy. The strategy is you. You are the formula. You are the answer. You are it. So find something that kind of forces you to show up as authentic and raw as you possibly can, because in there is your answer. Like I realized what were the themes I'm most passionate about talking about, the people that I want to bring into my space, more women I want to connect with by allowing myself to talk without character limits, slides limits, and just by extracting recurring themes from my raw recordings. This is video 30 something of daily YouTube videos. And the thing that it comes easy for you to talk about, the thing you could talk about for hours on end, the the breadcrumbs, the sign, the answers are there of how, who are your people? Where's your tribe? Who are you here to help? What are you here to do? Who you're becoming, who you want to grow into, what you're building. So find the thing that helps you show up as raw, as messy, as authentically as possible. And that's going to be your strategy. That's going to be the foundation to build a brand, a business, a career, a path forward that not only is thriving, but feels coherent, congruent, and integrity. And it just fills you up. As I said, I thought this daily YouTube video thing was going to drain me, but it's giving me more than I could even imagine. It's giving me back so much more. I could never, like, I did not imagine it was going to feel like this. And I'm so glad I listened. I'm so glad you're watching this video. If this message, if this video resonated, let me know. Let me know. Give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe, come along for the journey. If you would like deeper support, there's the link in the description box, resources, ways to work together. And I will see you tomorrow.